host for tonight's event. I want to say just a few things about the center before we get going, and then it will be my pleasure to introduce our speaker. So the Oklahoma Center for the Humanities is now in its 4th year at the University of Tulsa, and we have basically a twofold mission. On the one hand, we seek each year to form a kind of think tank on campus where we bring together faculty and students and the members of the community to work on big ideas that we think can only be fully illuminated using the tools of the arts and humanities. And so each year we settle on a particular theme and then explore that in a wide variety of different ways. In the past, we've looked at themes like humor and privacy and food last year. And this year we've turned our attention to a topic that's very much on everyone's mind right now, home and homelands. And the other piece of our mission then, in addition to hosting that think tank, is to put on approximately 30 to 35 public programs each year where we travel around the city and work with partners of all different kinds in order to host talks, performances, exhibitions, conversations, debates, and more in the city that will help illuminate this idea of home from a whole variety of perspectives, and we hope create a year-long conversation around our annual theme. So to give you just some sense of some of the things that we have planned, I just want to let you know what's coming up at the center. On the 22nd of September, next door in Tyrrell Hall, we'll be hosting a talk by LaDonna Harris. It will be called Indian 101. It's both a documentary about her life, and she'll be joining us for a question and answer session afterward. LaDonna Harris is probably one of the most prominent living Native American women. She ran for Vice President of the United States, among other things. And we'll be hosting that event with the Woody Guthrie Center as well as the Oklahoma Indigenous Studies Alliance. On the 28th of November, we'll be hosting Ali Noorani, a journalist and an intellectual who you've often seen on places like CNN and Fox News and in the pages of the New York Times and the Washington Post. He'll be giving a talk called Beyond the Headlines, a conversation about immigration, where he talks about the role that neighborhoods in particular play when it comes to thinking about our attitudes toward American immigration and the idea of the melting pot. Perhaps on a somewhat lighter note, on the 5th of October, we'll be hosting an event called Cowboys and Commies at the Circle Cinema, where we have film historian Glenn Frankel coming to talk about the film High Noon, which is, if you know it, is one of the most famous, sort of iconic American Westerns, but can also be read and seen and understood as a parable about the Red Scare in the United States in the 1950s. We have many other events coming up throughout the year, and